What's up, YouTube? It's your boy D Brooks coming with another video. Today, we're working on the Trans Am. Remember, I told y'all we was gonna be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Well, waiting on some parts on the Jeep, so we hopped over on the Trans Am for a hot second. Let me show you what we're getting into. All right, so this is a TBI setup. I've already pulled the throttle body off of here. I just went ahead and cut those fuel lines off. It was really a mess. Lots of insulation on here. Went ahead and pulled the distributor already, which was pretty tight actually. And getting ready to pull this intake out of here. It does crank. I put a battery on it. It does crank. Basically, what you have to do if you're gonna go to the HEI distributor, there's a pink and white wire right here. Same kind of thing with the LS swap. But this is gonna be your hot, the pink, the white is your tack. So you make sure you go ahead and put the connector on there. Yeah, you put the connector on there and put that on the coil or whatnot. And then basically you can get rid of a lot of this computer stuff, the injector stuff. Now, I'm trying to use the fuel pump in the tank. What you have to do when you do the distributor and you want to go with the carburetor and everything, you have to get this, okay? You got to get this, man. The part is in the description, man. Holley, got Holley on deck. So make sure you got to get this, man. This is the fuel pressure regulator with return. You got to have with return. So this is kind of a thing, man. I'm like, I got a couple Quadrajets laying around. My buddy actually let me borrow one that's said to be working well. I took the intake off my Monte Carlo because it's got a bad engine. So I plan on putting this. I plan on using this. This is a Holley Street Dominator. I think it's a spread bore. I actually plan on using that intake. I actually grabbed the distributor out of the Monte Carlo as well, right there. So I got the distributor, that intake, and I got a Quadrajet carburetor. If it kind of runs, we may go ahead and rebuild that carburetor, but I don't know if this engine is any good. All right, so this is the car. Yeah, I don't know if the engine is any good. I'm really hoping that it works out. Like I said, it does crank. All right, it does crank, but I don't know if it's gonna knock or if it's gonna squeal or smoke or anything like that. I don't know anything like that. So I'm hoping that it was something simple. Now, the fuel pump that's in the tank, it's, for all I know, it could be 30, 40 years old. So I'm hoping that it'll prime. When I tried to crank it, it did not prime though. So I don't know if there's like a fuse for that. I'm gonna look into that. If not, I'm probably gonna do like an access panel, and then I'm just gonna throw a fuel pump in there and still run the same system with the fuel pressure regulator. Because the big thing with these small blocks, especially the ones with the TPI and the TBI, which is throttle body injection and tune port injection, some of them, they don't have like a provision for a mechanical pump. There might be a hole in the block, but the cam may not have the gear or the spot for that mechanical fuel pump or whatever. So from what I understand, if you run this HEI and you run that fuel pump with this regulator, which supposedly gets down, to 6 PSI, which is kind of exactly where you want to be on these carburetors, you should be good to go. So I'm hoping this works out, man. It'll be awesome to be driving this thing, but let's take a peek. I brought it in, it was snowing and everything. But yeah, I took the throttle body injection setup off. yeah, man, just kind of, you know, rawing it, you know, just getting to it. So getting ready to pull that intake out. Had the shop vac out because it was so disgusting. Everything had, like I said, it had fiberglass everywhere. It looked like this on the intake. But the oil actually smelled pretty decent. The gas smelled terrible, like varnish. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, look at that. That's what was on, it was just like this on top of the intake. So obviously we had some rodent issues, you know, at some point. But I did take my meter and test to see if we had 12 volts at the distributor, which we do. So that's good news. We only need that. And then I got to make sure we get power to that fuel pump. The starter, like I said, it cranks slow though. So I'm thinking maybe I need to look at my grounding or whatever and check out the wiring down there, make sure it ain't ate up. But if the wiring there is good and I got power to the fuel pump, I should be good to go with this carburetor setup. Now the main thing is getting the fuel pump to work. Like I said, I don't know if there's a fuse. I'm sure there is a fuse. Try not to delete too much stuff as far as the electrical stuff. Like I'm not trying to cut it up because there may be some type of signal wire to tell the fuel pump to kick on, which usually, from my experience in my LS stuff, the computer would tell that to kick on. So see what happens. Y'all stay tuned in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.